In tonight's Battered Justice, it's a voice often silenced and dismissed, the story of a domestic violence abuser.
KOMU 8's Kylie McGivern sat down with a recovering batterer who opened up about the hidden hell he caused his family.
It was a storybook marriage in the beginning.
The man I met was the man who worked the job, had a degree. Tell me he loved me.
You couldn't have asked for a better husband.
Fairy tale marriages with dark secrets.
There's hundreds of thousands of guys out there that nobody would ever guess they're doing this.
The man that no one knew was the man that
I snap.
The Bureau of Justice Statistics reports more than 30% of female homicides in the U.S. are domestic violence related.
So this person was arrested on a misdemeanor, bonded out on a $1,000 bond, and 2 years later ended up killing the person who was identified as the victim.
In domestic violence cases, traditionally we hear the victim's voice.
It got to the point I knew when he came in from work by the look on his face.
But what about the story often left untold? What happens to those who abuse?
The statistics for men changing after going through batterers intervention programs are not very good generally.
Joe Yulberg has been co-facilitator of Raven's Batterer intervention program for 9 years. Established in St. Louis, Raven is the third oldest program of its kind in the U.S., working exclusively with violent men.
It may just look like an empty room, but for Joe Yulberg, these walls hold deeper meaning. Because when he looks at men sitting in these pieces of furniture, he says he sees pieces of himself.
Grabbing my wife and slamming her up against the wall, I threw furniture at her, threw objects at her, choked her. She very bravely said, you know, go to a program and get help for your violence, or I'm leaving and taking the kids.
That was 12 years ago, 20 years into Yulberg's marriage.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week, their lives were made miserable by my behavior.
He says the thought of losing his wife and children,
it's like I would have no identity.
the thought of having their hidden world unravel,
All the abuse had been kept secret.
was beyond comprehension.
I thought about killing myself. When I would think about taking my own life, I would think I'd be leaving Katie and Bob behind, and I thought, you know, one way to not leave them behind would be to take them with me.
Instead, Yulberg took a chance on a new beginning after completing Raven's 48-week intervention program.
I went to my kids' weddings. You know, I was there when my 3 grandsons were born.
And after 40 years, he and his wife are still together.
You know, it's a miracle. You know, if there hadn't have been for that intervention, you know, I was on a path to just get worse and worse and worse.
A miracle he's working to help other violent men experience themselves. Kylie McGivern, KUMU 8 News, St. Louis.
For more information on local Batterer intervention programs, visit KOMU.com and search Batterer Intervention Program.